After Prophet Adam A.S. and his noble son Sheath A.S. returned to their Lord, generations spread across the earth. Time passed, and with each generation, the memory of the first man's story began to fade. Some people remained steadfast upon the truth, worshipping Allah alone, but others, tempted by the beauty of this world, began to forget their purpose. In these days of both light and shadow, Allah chose a man, noble in character, deep in thought, and sincere in faith. His name was Idris A.S., known to later nations as Enoch. He was from the direct lineage of Prophet Adam A.S., the great-grandson of Sheath A.S. The wisdom of Adam flowed through his bloodline. He grew up hearing stories of paradise, of the angels, and of the day when mankind would return to their Creator. From a young age, Idris A.S. displayed signs of great intelligence and devotion. He spoke little, but when he did, his words carried depth and clarity. He often withdrew from the noise of the world to reflect upon the heavens, the stars, and the perfection of Allah's creation. His heart was full of remembrance, and his tongue was moist with dhikr. As he grew older, Allah blessed him with knowledge, patience, and prophethood. Idris A.S. stood among his people as a beacon of guidance. He reminded them that they were all children of Adam, the first man created from dust, honored by the angels, and chosen by Allah to begin the story of mankind. His message was simple, pure, and eternal. Worship Allah alone. Live in truth. Do not forget the path of your forefathers who obeyed their Lord, but few listened. The temptations of this world had gripped many hearts. Still, Idris A.S. continued to guide with calmness, never losing hope in the mercy of Allah. Quranic verse. وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ إِدْرِيسِ إِنَّهُ كَانَ صَدِيقَ نَبِيًّا. And mention in the book Idris. Indeed, he was a man of truth and a prophet. Surah Maryam 1956. His wisdom and knowledge. The first to write with a pen, Idris A.S. was not only a prophet but a man of immense knowledge and vision. Allah had blessed him with intellect and understanding that surpassed all others of his time. He became the first man to write with a pen, marking a turning point in human history. Through his writing, he preserved divine knowledge and taught people the importance of learning. He introduced his people to writing, mathematics, and astronomy. He taught them to measure time, to record events, and to plan their lives with discipline. He also taught tailoring, the art of stitching garments. Before him, people wore leaves and animal skins. By Allah's command, Idris A.S. showed them how to spin threads, weave cloth, and cover themselves with dignity. But even with his immense knowledge, he never became proud. He would remind his followers, "Knowledge is light from Allah. It is not mine, it belongs to Him, and to Him we return." He spent his nights in prayer, his days teaching and writing. Every invention or discovery he made began with Bismillah. His students recorded his words carefully, knowing that they came from a man chosen by Allah. He also studied the movements of the stars, not for fortune-telling, but to reflect on Allah's power. He told his people, "Every star you see moves by Allah's command. Every shadow that falls is written by His wisdom. Do not worship the creation, worship the Creator of all things." Through him, the people learned that true intelligence is not to conquer the world, but to understand the signs of Allah within it. Quranic verse. وَعِلْمَ الْإِنسَانُ بِعِلْمِ عَالَمٍ. And he taught man that which he knew not. Surah Al-Alaq 96. 5. Idris A.S. watched his people with sadness. As knowledge spread, so did arrogance. Many used their learning for pride, not gratitude. They built grand homes, stored wealth, and mocked those who worshipped Allah. The Prophet called out to them, "O my people, fear Allah. You were created for a purpose. Your wealth and your strength will fade, but your deeds will follow you forever." Some listened and repented, while others laughed at him. They said, "You are old-fashioned, Idris. We are the masters of our own fate." Idris A.S. replied softly, "If you truly controlled your fate, you would stop death, but you cannot. The one who gives life also takes it. His message was filled with love and patience. He told them of paradise for those who believe and hellfire for those who deny. He reminded them of the generations destroyed before them, those who disobeyed Allah's messengers. But he never forced faith. Instead, he prayed, "O Allah, open their hearts, for they know not what they do." A small group of sincere believers gathered around him. They became his companions, helping him spread the message across towns and valleys. Together, they lived simply, earning their food through honest work and spending their nights in remembrance. Their community became a place of peace, a contrast to the arrogance outside. Quranic verse.
فَمَنْ يَعْمَلُ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ.
So whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it. Despite Idris A.S.'s wisdom and mercy, his people became divided. The righteous stood with him, while the arrogant continued to reject him. The conflict between truth and falsehood grew stronger with each passing year. The disbelievers began to taunt him, saying, "If you are truly a prophet, show us the punishment you warn of." But Idris A.S. knew that Allah's mercy always precedes his punishment. He said, "O my people, my duty is only to remind. The command belongs to Allah alone." He warned them that arrogance destroys nations from within, not only through war or famine, but through the decay of hearts. Do not measure success by gold or stone, he told them. The true treasure lies in faith. His followers were few, but their hearts were filled with light. They supported each other, worked together, and never lost trust in Allah's promise. Even when the disbelievers mocked them, they remained calm. Idris A.S. would say, "The truth may be lonely, but it never dies." Quranic verse.
إِنِّ اللَّهِ مِعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا.
Indeed, Allah is with those who fear Him. Years turned into decades. Idris A.S. grew older, yet his determination never weakened. His beard turned white, but his eyes still shone with the same light of faith. Every morning, he would greet his people with peace, reminding them to stay firm in obedience. He never shouted, never cursed. His heart was too soft for anger. When his followers grew tired, he told them, "Patience is the key to every victory." He spent long nights in prayer. The sound of his recitation filled the valleys, and those who passed by would feel their hearts tremble. Even when his people mocked him, he would raise his hands and pray, "O Allah, guide them, for if you do not, who will?" Idris A.S.'s patience became a lesson not only for his people, but for every prophet who came after him. He showed that true strength is not in power or numbers. It is in steadfastness upon the truth. Quranic verse.
واصبر وما صبرك إلا بالله.
And be patient, for your patience is not but through Allah. Idris A.S. continued his mission with passion and humility. People began to recognize him not only as a prophet, but also as a teacher of wisdom and science. It is said he was the first to write with a pen, a gift of intellect bestowed by Allah. He recorded divine knowledge, guiding his people toward truth and justice. He taught them how to measure time, study the stars, and understand the patterns of the sky. Many historians believe Idris A.S. was the father of astronomy and mathematics. But above all, he reminded them that knowledge without faith is nothing. It is light only when it leads to the Creator. He would gather people around and say, "Seek knowledge that brings you closer to Allah, not knowledge that blinds your heart." His deep wisdom inspired countless people to return to righteousness, and he became known as Idris, the truthful, the steadfast. Quranic verse.
ورفعناه مكان عليا.
And we raised him to a high station. Surah Maryam. But not everyone followed Idris A.S. Many among his people became arrogant, using their intelligence and wealth for evil. They cheated, lied, and spread injustice. Idris A.S. warned them repeatedly, reminding them of Allah's justice and the fate of the disbelievers. He would stand before them, calm yet firm, saying, "O my people, turn back to Allah before the darkness takes over your hearts." His warnings fell on deaf ears for many, but Idris A.S. never gave up. His patience was remarkable. He said, "We are children of Adam, created from dust, given honor by Allah. Why then do we disobey him who raised us from nothing?" Despite the resistance, Idris A.S. continued to preach, with tears in his eyes and faith in his heart. Quranic verse.
إن الله يحب المقسطين.
Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly. Surah Al-Mumtahana 60:8.
As years passed, Idris A.S. desired to see the reality of the heavens, the realm of the angels. His devotion was pure, and Allah granted his wish. An angel descended and carried him upward through the skies. He passed through the first heaven, where angels greeted him with peace. Then the second, and the third, where he met angels engaged in constant worship, glorifying Allah's name. Each layer of heaven filled his heart with awe and love for his Creator. When they reached the fourth heaven, the angel said, "This is where you shall stay, O Idris. Your Lord has honored you." It is here that Idris A.S. was raised, not dead, but elevated to a noble station. Quranic verse. ورفعناه مكان عليا. And we raised him to a high station. Surah Maryam, 1957.